President and CEO of the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us today as our coalition shows our strong support for Proposition 11 on the statewide ballot on November 4th. Proposition 11 will bring fair redistricting reform to our state and help us to ensure that our lawmakers hear the voices of our communities loud and clear.
If you have any questions about that, please feel free.
Governor, this has been on the ballot 5 different times and it's failed each time. It's fairly arcane, the idea of redistricting and reapportionment. What makes you think it's going to pass this time?
First of all, let me just say to you that there was many times when I tried 10 times to lift a certain weight and I failed. And then the 11th time I lifted it. So never give up. It's one thing you learn in sports, never give up. And I think that the most important thing and the most common thing we have heard in the past was that the people didn't quite understand what this was about, because it is a complicated issue. But I think we make it very simple. If you don't like what's going on in Sacramento, and if you hate the gridlock that's going on, and that it takes 3 months to get a budget done, and that we can't get the water infrastructure done, that we can't get healthcare reform done, and all of those important things, and if you're frustrated about that, vote yes on Proposition 11. That's the bottom line.
Governor,
yes.
With the continuing dip of public confidence in the president, lowest approval ratings in history, Congress is even below that. 50% of Americans say they would vote to replace the entire Congress. In Mayor Bloomberg City, at least 50% of the people there believe that there's a serious cover-up of the attacks of 9/11. The mayor has positioned himself apparently against the thousands of family members that don't have their questions answered, the first responders. So are we not, is not Proposition 11, even if it is a good proposal, aren't we just rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic of public faith in our public officials?
The biggest problem that we have is that when people are angry and disappointed at the legislators, they can do nothing about it. Like right now, as you have heard just earlier, the people are dissatisfied with the legislators here in California with the action, with the lack of action, but they can do nothing about it. All of those people that are incumbents, they get back in there again and they get elected. That's why reform is so important, to reform the system and to take that conflict of interest away from the legislators, to take away the power of them drawing their own district lines where they carve out the Republican district and they carve out the Democratic district, so there's no competition. That is what is wrong, and I think what we have to do now is change the system, reform the system, and give the power back to the people. Then the people have more choice. Then there will be competition between Democrats and Republicans and independents, and that will produce then the best people that make decisions, not what is best for the party or what is best just for the district, but what is best for the state of California and for the people of California.
Last question.
And yeah, I would like to
add one thing. I think you answered both your question and his question. If 50% of the people want to replace all of Congress, wouldn't it be great if they had the opportunity to do that? The truth of the matter, at the federal level as well as state levels, redistricting takes away the democratic opportunity to let anybody run. You can only come up through your party ranks. You've got to have worked your ways up and be 100% loyal to the party, or you don't get through the primary.
But isn't this a constitutional crisis?
This is not your question. You answered your question. This is my answer, okay? So thank you very much. Appreciate the courtesy. The fact of the matter is people don't have a choice. And if you give them the choice, then they don't have a right to complain. But right now, they don't have the choice. And that's exactly what Proposition 11 is about, to give the people a real, concrete choice, whether it is for the executive or a legislator at the federal, state, or city level. Putting everything before the public fairly is the democratic American way. And unfortunately, the system has been corrupted over the years, mainly through redistricting at all levels.
Mayor Bloomberg, New York Daily News, you're here today, you're supporting a ballot initiative on good governance. In New York, you're seeking an extension of term limits.
You betcha. It's good governance in New York. We want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to vote for anybody they want. And that's exactly the issue with term limits, or against term limits, is it doesn't let everybody vote for whomever they want. Either you believe in democracy or you don't. Let everybody be before the voters. Let all the voters make their choice. And if it's good government or bad government, it's America and it's democracy. And that's exactly the argument in New York to change term limits from 2 terms to 3 terms. And that's what people who are against term limits, which incidentally I have always been for, but I think you can make a good case for 3 terms rather than 2, particularly now given the situation that's in this country. But nevertheless, it is another reform to get everybody having the ability to pick whoever they want. Not for you or a few party leaders to decide who should be on the ballot because they can co-opt those people.
Anyway, thank you very much all for being here today. As we've said earlier, the politicians don't like this because we're taking power away from the politicians and we're giving it back to the people. And that's what is so great about it. That's why we want people to vote yes on Proposition 11. Thank you very much all for being out here. Thank you all.
Also, the West Region president for Verizon, which I know is important.
Verizon. I signed words for the president.
Arnold.
Robert.
Quick question. Hello. Arnold. Governor Schwarzenegger. Yeah, a lot of people are concerned about the belt buckle you wore on the cover of Time. Please explain to us why we should not be concerned about the skull and crossbones Nazi death's head belt buckle. Was it not that, or why would we not be concerned about our governor wearing a belt buckle of that type?
This governor wears the most creative stuff. If it's cowboy boots, or if it is belts or belt buckles.
Well, I like your shoes. The shoes are great.
Something different, okay, to spice it up, because let's be honest, for most people, politics is a boring thing. For me, it's not about politics. For me, it's about public service. I love public service. You spice it up.
But doesn't that kind of cross the line, that image?
So, Mayor, do you support a new WeAreChangeLA? Do you support a new investigation of 9/11? Do you, sir?
He's been investigated.
Well, the cover-up itself is treasonous under Article 3, Section 3 of the Constitution, sir, so I suggest that you support it. Governor, my legal and moral responsibility to give you these papers about the treasonous cover-up of 9/11. Do you support a new investigation, sir?
Thank you very much, and thanks for being here.
Do you support a new investigation, sir? Are you wearing your death skull belt buckle, sir? Are you, sir?
I need you guys to say that.
Why did you put that? Why did you put yourself on the cover of Time with a death skull belt buckle, sir?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fashion statement, apparently.
Did you ask him about it?
It was a
What did he say?
Davidson belt buckle, apparently.
Oh, really, huh?